Hello everyone, how are you? Today I bring you the final video of Unit 3, right? In this particular case, the goals of this lesson are to say how you spend your time, ask how people spend their time, and ask what people like, okay? So, the first activity we have is a listening. Here we have 4 different tables at a restaurant and 4 different groups of people, right, or pairs in this case, talking about different things. They are going to be asking each other some questions. In each case, right, we have here 4 cases. What you have to do is you have to try to choose the correct verb from the list, right, and try to write the complete question that is asked in each opportunity. Okay, so we're going to listen to a question using the words here, right? You're going to complete the question. Yes, so let's see.
Track 73.
1. Do you watch football?
No, I'll never watch it.
2.
Excuse me, do you speak Spanish?
Yes, a bit.
3.
Do you live near here?
Yes, we live in the next street.
4.
Do you have children?
Yes, we have 2, a girl and a boy.
Okay, so as always, if you need to listen again, you can pause the video and go back. I'm going to give you the answers now, okay? So, conversation number 1, the question is, do you watch football? Do you watch football? Number 2 is, do you speak Spanish? Do you speak Spanish? Do you live near here? Do you have children? Yes, these are the 4 questions that were asked. If you pay attention, when we write questions, we are going to make use of a very important word which is called auxiliary. An auxiliary is a word that is going to help us to create a grammatically correct sentence. In the case of present simple, we have 2 different auxiliaries, the word do and does, right? In this case, we're only focusing on this auxiliary, right? The difference between both is that do is used for subjects I, you, we, and they, right? And does is used for he, she, and it, yes? For different subjects. Now, what's important here is that you learn how to use the auxiliary do for I and you. Okay, we're going to be focusing on that. So let's look at some examples that we have here below. Here we have positive sentences, right? And auxiliaries. I like coffee. Do you like coffee? We live in India. Do you live in India? Pay attention to the change of the order of words. In this case, we have subject and verb, right? And in this case, we have auxiliary, subject, and verb, right? Subject and verb, and then here we add the auxiliary. We live in India. Do you live in India? Right? Now, practice and make questions. Try to use the verbs that you know, right? Maybe the verbs from here, right? Or other ones that you know, and try to create full questions using the words that you have here. All right? So pause the video and create full questions for each case. Are you ready? So let's see. In number 1, the question can be, do you watch TV? Number 2, do you live in London? Do you like Italian food? Do you work in a bank? Do you go to school? Do you have a mobile phone? Do you drink tea? Do you play the piano? And the last one we have, do you listen to Mozart? Yes? Or we can say, do you like Mozart? If we don't want to add the preposition. Yes? So these are examples of questions that you can create using these words. In every single question, we have to use an auxiliary. Yes? They are absolutely necessary. Now let's see. Here we have a description of different people in a class. We have 2, 4, and 6 people, right? And all of them have a description. So let's read together. We have Keiko. She says, I live in England. I work in an office. I like Japanese food. Jose. I live in the USA and I work in an office. I like Japanese food. I drink tea, but not coffee. Nick. I live in London and I work in an office. I like football and American food. Parveen. I live in New York and I work in a shop. I drink tea and coffee. I like Italian food. Marie. I work in an office in New York. I like football and Chinese food. I drink coffee but not tea. Sayid. I live in London and I work in a shop. I like football and Chinese food. Now, here we have sort of like a game. They are asking some questions and the idea is to guess who the person is, right? So let's see. We have, do you live in London? Nope. Do you like Chinese food? Yes. Do you drink coffee? Yes. You are, and then we insert the name. Keiko, Jose, Nick, Parveen, Sayid, or Marie. What's the correct answer? Pause the video, read again, and try to identify who this person is. We're going to listen now to check.
Track 74.
Do you live in London?
No.
Do you like Chinese food?
Yes.
Do you drink coffee?
Yes.
You're Marie.
Yes.
So there we have Marie, right? Yes. She lives in London? Nope, right? She doesn't live in London. She likes Chinese food and she drinks coffee, right? Very good. You can play with maybe your sister, brother's parents if they want, right? And you can try to create this type of questions for each one. Now let's see. In this task, we're going to practice how to say how you spend your time. I'm sorry. So look at the sentences. Try to write yes or no in the column A if these sentences are true for you or not. Okay? So we have, I read a lot of books. I read in bed. I read poetry. I often go to the cinema. I often watch DVDs. I watch films on TV. So for example, I read a lot of books. Yes, right? So I write yes. I read in bed. Yes. I read poetry. No, I don't read poetry. I often go to the cinema. Yes. I often watch DVDs. No. I watch films on TV. Sometimes. Yes. Right? So those are the sentences that are true for me. Can you do the same with you? So complete these with books and films, food and music. Now, once you finish, what I'd like you to do is to practice saying these sentences but in a question format. So, for example, number 1 would be, do you read a lot of books? Do you read in bed? Do you read poetry? Do you often go to the cinema? Do you watch DVDs? Do you watch films on TV? Do you often go to cafes? Do you drink coffee every day? Do you eat meat? Do you like fast food? Do you like Chinese food? Right? And try to practice the same for the rest as well. Right? The idea is for us to talk about this, so maybe we can share our thoughts in the next online meeting we have, right? And practice a bit of speaking. Let's see if we have things in common or not. All right? So let's move on to the next part. Now, this is something totally different, but is going to be helpful for you when you write. So, in English, we have two important conjunctions that we call, right? Which are the words and but. Yes? And we use these words to join two ideas. Unir, ¿cierto? Dos ideas diferentes. We can use and when the ideas are similar in meaning, right? And we can use but to talk about contrast. Yes? Pero, that would be in Spanish to talk about contrast. So, for example, if you have two positive ideas, we use and to join them, right? But if we have one positive idea and one negative idea, right, showing some contrast, we're going to use but instead. So let's see example A. It says, we have a nice flat in Berlin. The rooms are big. It has a big balcony. We have a nice flat in Berlin. The rooms are big. It has a big balcony. In this case, right, we're adding similar ideas. These are both similar ideas, right? But we want to join them in just one sentence. But here we have two sentences, right? The rooms are big. It has a big balcony. Now, if we want to add these two ideas, as they are both positive, we're going to use the word and, right? Two positive ideas. Now let's see the second example. I have a flat in Berlin. It's very small. I like it. I have a flat in Berlin. It's very small, but I like it. See how we're talking here about two contrasting ideas? Something that is small, it might be negative for people, but for me it's positive. So we have a negative idea and a positive one joined by the word but. Let's see. Let's do exercise number 2 here. It says, and or but end a sentence from the box. So we have here some examples that you have to join with this ones. So you're going to pause the video now and try to join these sentences using and or but. So I'm going to do number 1 as an example. Number 1 says, it's a very small village. There's no school. And I'm going to say there's no school and there are only 2 shops. There's no school and there are only 2 shops, right? Yes? So, do the same with the rest of the sentences. Pause the video and finish your exercises so we can check. Are you ready? So let's see. The hotel is okay. Our room is very nice. But our room is very nice, but it's quite noisy at night, right? So we have a positive idea, something that's nice, right? A positive adjective, and then we have noisy, which is something negative, right? Then we have number 3. They are a big family. They have 5 children, but only one lives at home, right? Contrasting. Only one of them, one of the 5 children, lives at home. Although they are a very big family, only one of them lives at home. Now, last one. It's a good cafe. The coffee is very good. And they have a very good ice cream. 2 positive ideas that go together. We're going to keep practicing this in the following units, right? But this was just the first exercise. Now, as always, let's have a look at the review of some exercises. Now, match the verbs and the corresponding nouns. All right? Try to look for the words that go together. Pause the video and complete the exercises. Are you ready? So, we eat meat, watch television, play the guitar, very good, listen to the radio, speak English, go to the cinema, drink water, and read a book. Very, very good. Now, find groups of 3 words. So try to classify 3 words in different categories. So, for example, I'm going to do number 1. We have the word tennis. We can group it with football and basketball. And then we have one group which is sports, right? Do the rest and then we check. Okay, let's see. What do we have? TV, radio, and MP3 player. Very good. Italian, Chinese, and Japanese. Book, newspaper, and magazine. Speak, a verb, right? Read and listen. Often, sometimes, and never. Very good. And the last ones are cheap, expensive, and good. Did you have them all correct? Very, very good. Now, it says write 3 sentences. Use words from the box in each sentence. So try to use them to complete some questions or sentences in positive. Now here we have complete the tables, countries and nationalities. That's interesting. Pause the video because I'm going to give you the answers once you finish. Are you ready? So, we have England, and people who are from England, the country are called English. The USA, American, right? People from the USA are called American. Japanese people are from, of course, Japan. Italian people are from Italy. From the India, we have Indian, right? And the last one, Russian people are from Russia. We say Russia. Very, very good. Look at the orange words in these emails. What other words could go in the same space? So let's read. It says, hi Alex, are you free on Tuesday? Let's meet for a pizza. How about 7:30 at the Pizzeria Bella Roma? Try to write an email to another student using different words in this case. So for example, instead of saying Tuesday, you can use Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Let's meet for a pizza, or let's meet for a coffee, or for a hamburger. You decide, right? So change this email and maybe send it to a friend. Try to think of things you can do after this quarantine as well. I'm just kidding. This was the page. So let's see. We have here the reference of the present simple from this unit, right? So just a reminder, we say I like coffee, I live here. For negations, we use the auxiliary don't. I don't like coffee. And for questions, we use the auxiliary do, right? And we change the order of the components. In negations, we use subject, auxiliary, and verb. And in questions, we use auxiliary, subject, and verb. Right? Do you like coffee? I don't like coffee. I like coffee. Yes? Now, have a look at these sentences. 5 sentences that have mistakes, right? Errores in them. Now, can you write the correct sentences? So let's see. Number 1 says, I not speak English. What's missing here? The auxiliary, right? So I say, I don't speak English. I don't speak English. Very good. Number 2, this is a question. So we say, do you eat meat? Do you eat meat? We often listen the radio. Let's see, we have the subject, the adverb, verb, listen the radio. So we say, we often listen to the radio. We often listen to the radio. I not like cola. I don't like cola. Very good. Are you like football? Nope. Do you like football? That's the correct. We don't say I, we say, do you like football? There we go. Last one. Frequency. How often you do certain things. We saw the word often, sometimes, and never, and we also saw the word every day. So let's try to write the sentences in the correct order. All right? Put the words in the correct order to make sentences or questions. Are you ready? So let's see. Number 1. What's happening? Okay, I don't know what is happening with this, but I'm going to say it out loud, okay? So, number 1 would be I watch TV every day at the end, right? I watch TV every day. Number 2, I often play football with my friends. I often play football with my friends. They never eat meat. They never eat meat. Do you sometimes go to the cinema? Do you sometimes go to the cinema? So, that is the end of this video and the end of this unit as well. As always, you can write me back if you have any questions or doubts. Alright? Practice your exercises. Look at the virtual classroom because we have more exercises for you to practice. And I will see you in the next lesson. Alright? Bye bye.